we are going to discuss about of the tool of SAP ABAP, which the tool is called as an ABAP queries, which we can call it as an queries. So QUERIES. So what main purpose of this queries, and what will be happening in this queries in the sense of, say for example, let me discuss about of the client requirement first. If the client is asking like this, so what the client is asking at present is, so we are having one LDB already, we are having one logical database with the details of customer, and as well as the order, and as well as order wise items. This is the LDP which we are already contains. But what my client is asking that, if the client is having the three different types of the users, say for example, one of the user team is an a financials, one finance team will be there, and another sales team will be there, and another one is a material team is there, like which is called as a purchasing or the material management. So like this, there is a three different teams will be there. Under the finance, they're having the 10 users. Under the sales, they're having the some 20 users. Under the materials, they're having some 5 users. And this is what will be happening. But what my client is asking that, in this LDB, we have collected all the details into one database table or one LDB. But when in my finance department, say for example, in my finance department, one user will be there with the name of George. Say for example, if the George is a user in the financial team, and if the George wants to get the data, or he wants to maintain some report with the details of the customer number, and as well as customer name, and as well as the country, and as well as an invoice amount. That's what exactly Mr. Josh as a user they are asking. Okay, the financial user of the Mr. Josh has been asking about this report, and as well as another user will be there in the same financial team, and the same financial team, say for example of John, and instead of these of the details, Mr. John is asking some more details also here. Here it is asking about the invoice date also. And this is the two reports. That means from one LDB, I want to get two reports. And even the client is asking that he wants to maintain another report also. Say for example, in the SD team. In the SD team, there is another user will be there. Whenever the user of this, say for example of Jake from the SD team, he wants the report of customer number, and not the customer name, not the country, not the invoice amount, not the invoice date. What they are asking that order number, and as well as order date, as well as order value, as like as another user will be there, so which is related to the MM, and he is the user of the MM from the materials management or the warehouse, whatever it was. So here the materials person says something around John, Jake, and Jason, and what he's asking that customer number, order number, and instead of these items number, and as well as item quantity, and as well as where the item has been manufactured. So like this, if the client is asking that I am having a different types of the users from the different types of the departments, and I want to get the report for each and every user separately. for each and every user separately, not including within the one. I need to maintain the separate report for each and every user. So in this situation, what we have to do? So, but all these three database tables of the data which we are having, already we have clubbed in together into one LDB. That's why what I am generating here is, I am generating a query for each and every user group, and even for each and every user also we can generate. That's what exactly we are calling as a query. So what is the purpose of the ABAP queries in the sense of, in this ABAP queries we can generate a separate individual reports using by one LDB by the user specifics. So as per the user specifics or user interaction, how to create those of the reports in the backend of the ABAP engine, which we are to use the tool we are calling as an SAP queries. So how we can generate the queries? And in this queries, totally it contains five different parts. The queries can contain five different parts, and the first part, which we can call as a create user group. The first part is comes under on the creation of a user group, and the second part is called as a name create an info set, which is called as an information set, otherwise which we can simply call it as a set of the information which the user group is required. So first of all, we have created one user group and as well as one info set. And what about the third one, in the sense of which we can say that under that user group also, if I am having the multiple of the users, see, which we said that under the financial user group, I can have a multiple of the users under that. So for which of the users it has to be under the user group, for which of the users. That's why in the next step we have to go for the assign user group, user and info set. Assign user group, user and info set. Whatever the user group and for which of the users, this info set has to be added. That means who can be authorized for this info set. And the fourth one, assign user group to info set. Or else we can say that assign info set to other user group. Info set to other user group. Maybe the same set of the information I want to assign for another user group also. That means multiple of the user groups. How it will become in the sense of by this step of the fourth one. And at the last one and the fifth one, we can make it a designing of a query, and execute the query. So these are the five simple parts which we can or which we have to use in this particular SAP ABAP queries. So is the concept is clear, Mr. George?
Yes.
So shall we? So
Yeah.
as per like this, which we have already created our LDB. So first of all, let me log in, double click on SAP logon, and as well as select our server, and I'm the ABAP user. The login under here, the username is ABAP17 and the password is something. Now I need to start up with the so-and-so. And before of starting of this queries, first of all, let me check that what is the LDB which we have created. So I have created the LDB and the transaction code of the SE36. Just check it out whether the LDB is there already. Yes, that was in a Z ABCD. as which we have created the same example with the KNA1, VBAK and VBA. And this was fine. The LDP has been generated already, and even it's having the executing also. But what I want to do that, instead of directly calling the LDB into the output, I want to make a query for each and every user and also the user. For that purpose, what we have to do, so as which were discussed here, the 5 steps. Let me start with the first one, creation of a user group. So how to creation of a user group in the sense of SQ03. So SQ03 is used for creation of a user group on SAP, SQ03. And it asking that what is the user group you want to use. So let me take as any of the user group which is starting with the ZRY. So here I am giving that something around ZSD, YSD, USG. And what I have to do that? Create what it is, which I am saying that my sales user group. This is what my sales user group, and that has been created, done. See, user group YSD, USG has been saved. That means in the first step which I have created that user group, and in the second part I need to create the info set. That means which is called as a set of the information which the client requires. Which the client requires. That is called as an info set. For creation of the info set, we have to go for SQ02. Let's have a look at it. From the easy access screen, I'm going to the SQ02 enter. So here it is asking that info set. What is the info set you want to make it? Yeah, wish you can give anything. But that should be started with the either by Z or by letter of the Y. So here I'm giving the Y in Y info. The user group is YSDUSG, and the info set which I am required is the Y info, and then I need to create it. Let me create this. Create it. So when I am going to create, here it is asking that what is the info set name which you are going to create. I am creating that sales data info set. Sales data info set, and initially it has to be authorized, and it can have the authorization for the user group of YSDUSG, and it has to be comes with the logical database. And by which logical database it has to become, as we should create the logical database of ZABC. So previously which we have already created that ZABCD of the LDB, and then the see here the logical database of the ZLDB, ZABCD, and the field group and the data fields. Then and this information set for the customer master, from your LDB, what do you want? Select this node. See, there is a lot of the fields will be there in the customer master node of the KNA. And what you people are required for this? I am from here. These are the fields from the LDB, and this is the group of the data fields. For this group data of the fields, whatever the fields which we required from that customer master node. So, which I am saying that whatever the fields which you want, I want to maintain the customer number. Just right click on that, and then click on add field to group. See, that will be adding to here. Even if you can select it and drag it and drop it, that will be also one. Even if you can right click on it and then add field to group. So as like that, whatever you want from the customer master node, you can add it into the group fields of your customer. This is the first one. I am in required these three fields is enough for me from the customer. Even for the next one, that means customer wise orders. Here in the customer wise orders, I am in require the sales document number and as well as sales document type and whatever you want. So you can check it out the fields. I want the sales document net value amount. See, those of the three fields has been added here. And even in the customer wise, order wise item. In the customer wise, order wise items, I am in require the POSNR. What is the items will be there and what is the materials will be there and what is the material rented or something whatever you want you can. Now let's take this in a shorter script. Yeah. See? I have to maintain these of the fields in this info set. Okay, this is what the LDB existing which we have taken. From that LDB, I am in need these things and then generate. The system will automatically generate this structure. But these selected fields which we have selected. See, Y info has been generated. And after that, come back from here. Now, what was happened here? First of all, we have created one user group, and the second one which we have created one info set. Now, what's the situation? What is the problem here is under that user group, even I am having the multiple of the users. Under the same SD user group, I am having the multiple of the users. For which of the users it has to be authenticated. That means which of the users can use this. For them, we have to give the authentication or the authorization. And how it will be using so assign user group to InfoSat. Again, we need to go for the SQ03. Let's come back into the SQ03. That is
Yeah.
our user group. So under that user group, for that InfoSat, for which of the users? For which of the users? For that, see, assign for this user group to users and InfoSat. From this user group for the user of ABAP17 for this user under this user group of for this user for which info set? The info set which we have already created. The info set which we have created here it is which we have maintained as an Y info. The list of the info sets has been displayed here. From that info sets, which one you want to assign? That's what we have to assign here. See, already some of the user groups will be there, and for that user groups, which of the info set we need to add it. So here I have created the info set with the name of the Y info. Let me check it out whether it is. See, Y info. This one it is. This Y info has been came from the ZABCD of the LDB. Select it. Save. This info set for this user group. That's what about the third step. What is the user group and what is the info set and how to maintain the assignment of the user group, user and info set. Even if you want to give the authorization for the multiple of the users also you can. There is not a problem at all. And the next one, if it is the multiple of the users within the same group, I can frame there. If I want to give the authorization to the multiple of the user groups, then what I have to do? For that, again go to SQ02. See, SQ02. For this info set, And here there is an option will be there. And here role user group info set. For this info set, role user group assignment. So this info set has been already assigned for this user group. Even if you want to for this user group also, this user groups also, this user groups also, you can add it to the multiple of the user groups if you want. That means the same set of the info set can be used by the multiple of the user group, as which we were discussing that SD user group is there, FI user group is there, MM group is there. For all the three groups I want to use it, then we can make it as a multiple of the user groups. Otherwise, one user group. Come back. At last, I need to design the layout and run the query. For that, we have to go for SQ01. Let's have a look here. From here, I'm going to the SQ01. SQ01. What is the query you want? Your wish, you can take anything. And before of that, if you can add it to the multiple of the user groups, you can select the user. For which user group you are designing the layout now. Click on it. We have assigned only for one user group. Even you can select for that user group of which we have created that YSGUSG. For this user group, I'm generating this query of ZQRY, and then here we have to create info set query. This query has to be comes for that user group by using the info set. See this info set for this user group. Select for this info set for this user group. See, these are the fields which you have selected already. We need to maintain in the output, and the selections also will be there. So first of all, I am preparing the selection fields. In your LDB, two selection fields will be there. One is the CMO and one is the YMO. Do you want to maintain both of the selection fields into here or only one? Your wish. I want only one, the customer number. And even if you want, select this one also you can. Otherwise, leave it. So I am taking the both of the selection options. That means the data has to be selection with the fields of the customer number as well as the order number. Now, what are the fields you want in the output? First of all, I need to know the customer number. Done. And after that, I need to know the order number for this user group. First of all, I need to know the customer number and order number and as well as item number, something. Done. And after that, I don't want the customer name, I want the country. That means we can choose our fields as per our requirement instead of that info set. From that info set also we can make some special options. This and this is enough for me. Say for example, customer number, order number, items, country, and the value. After completion of this, save it. Press enter. Selected selections has been JSON source has been completed. Come back. Now see, this is the query which has been generated. So which I said that this query has to be run for the user of ABAP17 and with the password of so and so. Even if you can close it also. Let me log off and again log in. When we are logging in, if the user has been logged in by this user ID, by their password by their password, then they can directly execute the query by using the SQ01. So what is the query you want? Which one you want? You can see the query has been refreshed. So I have created the query with the name of JetQRY. So is it not there? Why? Because it's at a one time. Already it was not executed. It has been released. Now let's make as an info set query again. See, already is there some of the queries. So first of all, create other user group. For the user group of which one? For the user group of YSDUSG, YSDUSG for this user group. See, the query will be there. Only for that user group only it will be displayed, not for all the other user groups. Why? Because it is especially for that user group, not for the other user groups. So now select the query and you want to give the report, execute it. First of all, it will be asking you one of the options. That means selection. From which customer to which customer you want to see the report? I want to see the report from 1000 to 1100. So this is the report which we are generating here, which we can call it as an A. In other words, it is an ALV report. So what exactly be the ALV in the sense of ABAP list viewer? What exactly be the ALV means ABAP list viewer. So here we are generating one report using by the queries and the report which we are calling as an ABAP list viewer, and then execute it. And even another choice also will be there. Another procedure also will be there to generate this ALV report by using the programming. But till now we are not entering into the programming. As for the functional consultant, what we wrote, that's what we did now. Let's have a wait for 3 minutes for generating of this report. So in this execution time, let's have a little discussion about of the whatever we have done today. So here we have done the concept which is named as an a queries or SAP queries, and this SAP queries, what we are doing that we are writing or we are generating one layout for the particular type of the user group, and that user group for the particular type of for the particular user zone. That means which we are giving the identification for the particular user group for the particular users. As like that, if the client is having the multiple of the user groups and the multiple of the users, then the situation, instead of generating a separate reports and separate things for each and every user, for each and every user group, we can maintain one LDB. That means which we can club all the details, all the database details into one LDB, and whenever the user or the user existence is asking about of the report for which user, whatever the fields which we require, we can create like this the queries. In these queries, totally it contains 5 steps. The first step contains of the creation of a user group. Actually, this user group has been created by the basis consultants, but here there is no basis consultant will be there. That's why I have creating this one. Here, which we are creating the user group with the name of the SQ03 with the transaction code of the SQ03. And after creation of that user group, what is the info set which you want? What do you mean by the info set? In the sense of it is nothing but like a set of information. What is that set of the information which we require? So that set of the information which we are calling as an info set. Here we have created the info set with the name of, we're using the transaction code of the SQ02. After creation of this info set, and one more thing is here that info set has been created by the using of the LDB. By using of the LDB, we have generated one info set, and whatever we have generated that info set has been assigned for which user group and which user, under the for which user group and for which user, which we can call it as an assign user group, user and info set. And after that, if you want to assign the same thing, the same info set for the multiple of the users also, we can use by the assign info set to other user group. And after that, design the layout and execute the layout. Now check it out if the output has been came for us. Done. See, this is called as an ALB. ABAP list viewer. And this ABAP list viewer, in this ABAP list viewer, we are having these of the fields with the name of the customer number and sales document number and also the item number and also the country key and the net value and even with that currency. So these are the fields
Um,
which I am in required in my report for the user group of the YSD and for the user of the ABAP also.
I have a question.
Sure, you can.
Where those numbers come from? 4649690001 Germany, then the net value. Where
These
those
are,
numbers come from?
yeah, you're asking about from where the system has been taken all the value fields. Is right now?
Okay.
So these are the values and the fields and everything which is there already in the SAP database tables of the VBAK, VBAP and KNM. Why? Because here I am using the database of the LDB and even the database tables of the KNM, VBAK, VBAP in a IDS. Let's have a look in SE16 data browser. The table name of KNA1 and this is the customer table and I want to get the report for 1000 and execute. See who is it is? Becker Berlin and he's come
Okay.
from the Berlin and his name is coming from Germany.
So before you create any query, you need to
Some
go and
data
check
has
in
to be written.
SE16.
Yes, some data has to be will be there in the database table and what we are doing that we are calling the data into the output. That's what we are doing. Okay. See, as a functional consultant, becoming as a technical functional consultant, you are already having some data in your by using your functional area into your database table.
Okay.
But as an SAP techno functional guy, what you have to do, what you have to do that, what you have to do that, we need to call the data from those of the database tables into output for the particular user group for the particular user. For that purpose only we have done this. Already we know how to create the database table in the previous classes which we have discussed by using the data dictionary and even the second session which we have discussed about of that the how to create make of a LDB and in the next session which we have created that how to create a simple report by using the LDB and the today's session we have created that what is the queries which we are having, that means how to create the queries for the particular user and the user group and which of the fields from the LDB. So this is what we are discussing about of the SAP queries.
Sometimes